how much cognitive power are we leaking as an organization because of this setup that we have? And what is the impact that this is having on their well-being? So sorry, it was a little bit over elaborated, but I wanted to connect to like a real life situation in which you have a lot of individuals that they could be looking at after their brains, but the setup in the organization is not so favorable. And I think now that we all suffer in this era in which this type of cults have become so prevalent.
But okay, so thank you, because you presented a real life opportunity to apply what we just discussed. So first, the knowledge of how the brain works and the mind, the knowledge that if you are in a virtual environment, people are much more likely to be distracted because there's many other things going on and less of a human interaction is a very important factor to then intervene in a variety of ways as a leader. And by the way, you can see already that happened during COVID because everyone was doing that. For example, make sure no webinar or no event virtually is more than 20, 25 minutes. So it is very clear agenda, very clear to the point. And then you give people a 5-minute break to get ready for the next thing. So from the structural perspective as a leader, I want to know this is a factor. So instead of a culture where every meeting has to be 1 hour, I train people, no, this is not optimal. This is not using the brains we have all through the world. Let's make sure we have much shorter virtual events, 20 minutes, clear agenda, fewer people as well, just the people you need there. And then 5 minutes break in the end for people to, catch up and be ready for the next activity. So that's from the leader, from a cultural aspect. Now, from the individual and well-being aspect, I will say, well, you can complement that with activities such as mindfulness, meditation, that can help people improve that focus ability and reduce their distractibility. So those 2 things together, and you could even add a third one, which is these days, people have phones, we have laptops, and often we have all these annoying distractions, right? We have an alarm, we have things. So make sure in the beginning of every meeting, check in with everyone in the meeting to switch off alarms, to switch off signals from other devices, to try to maintain the quality of that interaction for the intended objective, which is to solve the problems in that agenda.
So listening to you, I was thinking, what are some of the things that can be done, quote unquote, top down to help with this? So, maybe having a meeting be 25 minutes instead of 30, so there is 5 minutes to catch up with one another. You can set up a policy or a guideline. It's going to be treated mostly as a recommendation, I think, and then it's up for us to uphold it. So there's a combination of, I guess, leadership signaling what's acceptable, what's desirable, and then people following through. I remember from a more extreme example, I just can't quite remember who did this, but this was the CEO of a tech company. And the anecdote that I remember is that one day he instructed the IT personnel to do something to the effect of erasing all recurrent meetings from everybody's calendars. They're all gone. So if people wanted to set up those meeting spaces, they had to rethink, like, okay, which one that I had, do I really need this, etc. So it was almost like a reset starting from zero, instead of just being a default that people are trying to fall back from.